What happens if you don't sleep for 7 days? What if you never slept again? Not for one night, not for two, but for an entire week. It might sound like an internet challenge, but staying awake for 7 straight days would push the human brain to its absolute limit. Long before the 7th day arrives, your body begins sending desperate warning signs that something is seriously wrong. Sleep isn't just a time when your body shuts down. In fact, the opposite is true. Every night while you sleep, your brain is incredibly busy. It organizes memories, removes waste, repairs important connections between brain cells, balances your emotions, and prepares you for the next day. Your muscles recover, your hormones reset, and your immune system becomes stronger. Think of sleep as your body's daily maintenance. Now imagine skipping that maintenance. At first, nothing seems unusual. The first few hours feel normal. You can still talk, work, and move around without much trouble. You may feel a little tired, but a cup of coffee seems to solve the problem. Unfortunately, that's only an illusion. After about 12 hours without sleep, your concentration slowly begins to fade. Your eyes become heavier. You yawn more often. Reading becomes harder, and your mind starts wandering without you even noticing. Most people believe they're still thinking clearly. Science says otherwise. By around 18 hours awake, your reaction time becomes much slower. Researchers have found that your brain begins performing similarly to someone who's been drinking alcohol. Your judgment becomes weaker. Your reflexes slow down. Driving a car or operating machinery suddenly becomes much more dangerous. The scary part is, you probably won't even realize how much your brain has slowed down. As the first day continues, even simple tasks become surprisingly difficult. You forget why you walked into a room. You read the same sentence again and again. You struggle to remember conversations from only a few minutes ago. Your brain is running low on energy, and it's becoming harder to stay focused. Around 24 hours without sleep, your body starts entering survival mode. Decision-making becomes worse. You become more emotional. Small problems suddenly feel much bigger than they really are. Some people become unusually irritated, while others become strangely emotional or anxious. Then something even stranger begins to happen. Your brain starts taking tiny naps without your permission. These are called microsleeps. They last only a few seconds, but during those brief moments, your brain partially shuts off even though your eyes may still be open. You may continue walking or staring ahead without realizing you've completely lost awareness for a moment. This is one reason why severe sleep deprivation can be extremely dangerous. As you enter the second day, your memory becomes noticeably worse. You struggle to learn new information. Solving simple problems feels frustrating. Conversations become harder to follow because your brain can no longer process information efficiently. Your emotions also become unstable. You may laugh for no reason, then suddenly become angry or feel anxious without understanding why. At the same time, your immune system begins to weaken. Your body becomes less effective at fighting viruses and bacteria. You may start feeling physically unwell even though you haven't caught a serious illness. Your brain is becoming exhausted. And now, reality itself slowly begins to change. After nearly 48 hours without sleep, many people begin experiencing visual distortions. Objects may appear blurry. Shadows seem to move. You might think you saw something in the corner of your eye, only to discover nothing was ever there. Your brain is no longer processing the world correctly. Concentration becomes almost impossible. Your thoughts become slower. Your memory becomes unreliable. And every hour without sleep pushes your brain closer to complete exhaustion. But what happens next is where things become truly frightening. By the third day without sleep, your brain is no longer just tired. It's struggling to separate reality from imagination. Some people begin seeing objects that aren't actually there. Others hear sounds or voices that don't exist. These are called hallucinations, and they're one of the clearest signs that the brain is no longer functioning normally. Imagine looking across an empty room and believing someone is standing there, or hearing your phone ring only to realize it never made a sound. These experiences can feel completely real because the brain is no longer processing information accurately. Memory continues to get worse. Simple conversations become difficult to follow. You forget what someone just said only seconds earlier. You may lose track of time, become confused about where you are, or struggle to complete even the easiest tasks. Around the fourth day, your body is under enormous stress. Stress hormones remain unusually high. Your heart has to work harder. Your immune system becomes weaker, making it more difficult to fight off illness. Even your coordination begins to fail. Walking in a straight line becomes harder. Your hands may shake. Your speech can become slower, and your thinking becomes increasingly disorganized. As sleep deprivation continues into the fifth day, many people experience extreme emotional changes. Some become unusually anxious. Others become paranoid, feeling as though people are watching them or talking about them, even when there's no evidence at all. Reality starts feeling distorted. Time seems to pass differently. Minutes can feel like hours, and hours can disappear without you realizing it. By now, your brain is desperately trying to force you to sleep. Those tiny microsleeps become more frequent. For a few seconds, parts of your brain simply shut down, whether you want them to or not. Imagine driving a car. Closing your eyes for only 3 seconds, at highway speed, that's enough distance to travel the length of a football field without seeing the road. That's why severe sleep deprivation can be incredibly dangerous. As the 6th day approaches, mental confusion becomes severe. Your ability to make logical decisions almost disappears. Hallucinations become more vivid. Some people struggle to recognize familiar places. Others become convinced that impossible events are actually happening. By the 7th day, your brain has reached an extreme state of exhaustion. Severe hallucinations, delusions, extreme confusion, and complete mental disorientation may occur. At this stage, remaining awake isn't simply uncomfortable. It becomes a serious medical emergency that requires immediate professional care. Fortunately, for most healthy people, reaching 7 days without sleep is extremely unlikely. The brain has powerful protective systems. Eventually, microsleeps become impossible to resist, and your body will often force short periods of sleep before you can remain awake for that long. But even much shorter periods of sleep deprivation can affect your health. Sleeping only 4 or 5 hours every night for weeks can reduce concentration, weaken memory, increase stress, lower your immune defenses, and raise the risk of accidents. The good news: your brain is remarkably resilient. When you finally get healthy, uninterrupted sleep, it immediately begins repairing itself. Neural connections become stronger, memories are organized, hormones return to normal, your immune system recovers, and your brain starts clearing away the waste that built up during those long hours without rest. That's why sleep isn't something you should sacrifice. It's one of the most important biological processes your body performs every single day. So tonight, put your phone away a little earlier. Turn off the lights. Give your brain the rest it deserves. Because every great day starts with a good night's sleep. If you enjoyed learning something new today, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more science-based animations, and let us know in the comments, how long have you ever stayed awake?